Today I'm going to talk to you about a man from the late 15th century. The man I'm going to talk to you about received his education from many different institutions and used his own logic to advance space science past the status quo of the time. At the time of Nicholas Copernicus' birth on February 19, 1473, geocentric theory philosophy was the rule of the day. For those of you who don't understand what geocentric theory is an early belief which dates back many centuries before the 15th century and says Earth was the center of the universe and all the planets and sun rotated around a stationary Earth. Nicholas was born in Thorn, Poland, and lived with his parents Nicholas and Barbara Copernicus. They had 4 children, 2 sons and 2 daughters, of whom Nicholas Copernicus was the youngest. Nicholas lived a life learning and observing the stars and would become the astronomer at the forefront of the heliocentric theory revolution. Nicholas was more of a Renaissance man, as he was a physician, a lawyer, and a church administrator. In his spare time he studied and observed the planetary movements. When young Nicholas was only 10 years old, his father had died. His uncle Lucas Watson-Rope, who was a canon at Frankenberg Cathedral, became guardian to Nicholas and Barbara Copernicus' 4 children. Nicholas attended many schools. He attended Krakow, which was known for its mathematics, philosophy, and astronomy curriculum. This experience stimulated young Copernicus to study further liberal arts at Bologna, medicine at Padua, and law at the University of Ferrara, from which he emerged in 1503 with a doctorate in canon law. Upon his completion of his studies and duties, Nicholas finally had time to do the thing in life that would define him. He spent much of his time reading and studying planetary movements. He disagreed with the geocentric ideology and started his works on heliocentric theory. The manuscript on the revolutionists was basically complete when George Redicus came to visit him in 1539. The work comprised of 6 books. The first book, best known, discussed what came to be known as the Copernican theory and what is Copernicus' most important contribution to astronomy, the heliocentric universe. Book 1 set out the order of the heavenly bodies about the sun, the sphere of the fixed stars, is followed by the first of the planet Saturn, which completes its circuit in 30 years. The second book on the revolutionists elaborated on the concept of the first book. Book 3 dealt with the precession of the equinoxes and solar theory. Book 4 dealt with the moon's motions. Book 5 dealt with the planetary longitude, and Book 6 dealt with latitude. Copernicus depended very much on many different astronomers' observations, and there was little new in his mathematics. Copernicus' fame and books made it way across Europe over the next 50 years, and a second edition was brought out in 1566 as Gingrich's census of the extant copies showed. The book was read and commented on many astronomers. Gingrich noted the majority of the 16th century astronomers thought eliminating the equant was Copernicus' big achievement. An undocumented but often repeated story holds that Copernicus received a printed copy of his treatise on his deathbed. He died May 24, 1543. Nicholas lived a life as someone knowledge and sacrifice. He lived knowing that he could pay the ultimate price for his theories, yet he continued until his death. And that was the life and time of Nicholas Copernicus.